When Saudi Arabia unveiled the line in 2021, it seemed less like an architectural project and more like a sci-fi prophecy. A 170-kilometer-long mirrored megacity housing 9 million people within 2 parallel skyscrapers, stretching from the Red Sea into the desert, powered entirely by renewable energy, free of cars, streets, and pollution. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman presented it as the centerpiece of his Vision 2030, a radical blueprint to diversify the kingdom's oil-dependent economy and position Saudi Arabia as a global hub of innovation. At first, the world was stunned and captivated, but as the dust settled, experts began asking hard questions. Can this really be built? Could such a colossal undertaking, in one of the harshest climates on Earth, be achieved on schedule, on budget, and without breaking the laws of physics and finance? Today, only a few years after its dramatic announcement, those questions have caught up with reality. According to recent reporting by the Financial Times, construction of the multi-trillion-dollar city has slowed dramatically. Engineers, architects, and insiders now warn that the line may never rise as envisioned and could even die before housing a single resident. In today's video, we are diving into the death of the line megacity. Let's uncover how this mega project became the biggest failure of the century. Don't forget to click on that subscribe button and like this video, as it's the best way to support this channel. The line is part of NEOM, a vast $500 billion mega region on the Red Sea, designed to include luxury resorts, industrial zones, and even a floating city. Officials have long said the line would be built in stages, and they expect it to ultimately cover a 170-kilometer stretch of desert along the coast by 2030. But in 2024, Bloomberg revealed that only 2.4 kilometers of the line's total 170 kilometers is now expected to be completed by 2030, and it will house fewer than 300,000 people, down from an original goal of 1.5 million. Then recently, the Financial Times reported that over 20 people who have worked on the project confirmed that its momentum has all but evaporated. Workers now admit that even the foundations of most segments remain incomplete. What was supposed to become a living, breathing city for 9 million residents now risks becoming a monument to overreach, a ghost project half buried in the sand. At the top of nearly every expert's list of reasons why the line is doomed is its impossible timeline. In 2022, NEOM's leadership boldly announced that people would begin moving in by the end of 2024. By 2025, they claimed, the city would already house 130,000 residents and attract 1 million tourists annually. To meet those deadlines, builders were ordered to start pouring concrete before the designs were finalized or costs calculated, a fundamental breach of sound engineering practice. This reckless rush has created chaos, design changes mid-construction, incompatible systems, and wasted materials. Even if everything went perfectly from this point onward, the project would still be decades away from partial completion. The line's physical scale is almost incomprehensible. 2 parallel walls, each 500 meters tall, 200 meters wide, and stretching 170 kilometers. The sheer material demand defies logic. Engineers who worked on the project estimate that constructing just 20 of its 135 modules would require as much concrete as the entire annual output of France. Completing the full 170 kilometers would consume an unprecedented amount of resources, including 60% of the world's recycled steel supply, and a workforce of between 300,000 and 500,000 laborers. Such demands aren't merely ambitious, they're impossible. Global supply chains, already strained by economic and environmental pressures, could never sustain that level of extraction and manufacturing for a single project. Even if Saudi Arabia could import these materials, the cost and environmental toll would be astronomical. Money was supposed to be the least of NEOM's problems. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, flush with petrodollars, pledged to bankroll the city of the future. But as the true costs have emerged, the numbers have grown monstrous. Executives were initially told that the line would cost $1.6 trillion. Only months later, a revised estimate ballooned to $4.5 trillion, nearly double Saudi Arabia's entire GDP. This isn't just cost overrun, it's economic fantasy. The challenge is compounded by falling oil prices, which have squeezed the PIF's liquidity. Without significant foreign investment, NEOM's financial model collapses. And that's precisely what's happening. Private investors have refused to back a project that looks more like an experiment in hubris than a viable development. Even within the Saudi government, whispers of doubt have grown louder. Without external partners to share the risk, the line has become a financial black hole, devouring billions without clear returns. For a country trying to court global investors, this has become a major reputational liability. Ironically, the experts who worked on the line don't doubt its technical feasibility, at least on paper. With unlimited resources and time, the city could physically exist, but technical feasibility isn't the same as practical viability. Building a continuous vertical city in the desert introduces a cascade of engineering nightmares. Thermal expansion in the mirrored facades, sandstorms eroding reflective surfaces, condensation, and microclimate imbalances between modules, and the logistics of maintaining ventilation, waste management, and water recycling for millions of residents, stacked 500 meters high. Even if it were finished, the line's livability remains untested. How would light reach lower levels? How would residents psychologically adapt to living in a giant corridor with no horizon or skyline? Architects now warn that the line could become a claustrophobic canyon rather than a utopian habitat. The very features that make it futuristic on paper may render it unbearable in practice. Behind all the innovation, some see the line as the most expensive publicity stunt in history, which is meant to distract the world from the harsh truth. While the dominant narrative is that NEOM is being built on untouched land, the area is actually part of the Red Sea coastline, which has long been one of Saudi Arabia's most neglected territories. There are indeed several towns that exist there that are home to 20,000 people who are part of a nomadic tribe known as the Huwaitat. In April 2020, the Saudi government planned to take over the land of the Huwaitat people, who have been farming in this province for several generations. While the forceful removal of indigenous people may seem like a huge controversy, it is just the tip of the iceberg. The line was marketed as the world's first zero-carbon city, powered entirely by renewable energy. Yet its construction tells a very different story. Producing the concrete and steel necessary for even a fraction of the project would release tens of millions of tons of carbon dioxide, wiping out decades of emission savings. Transporting materials to the remote Tabuk region requires fleets of diesel trucks and energy-intensive logistics. Moreover, the chosen site, a pristine desert ecosystem near the Gulf of Aqaba, has suffered significant environmental disruption. Satellite imagery shows vast swathes of land cleared for access roads and camps, which have fragmented wildlife habitats. In trying to build a city of the future, Saudi Arabia may have inflicted irreparable damage on one of the last untouched desert landscapes. For Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the line was more than a mega project. It was a statement of power. Vision 2030 promised to free Saudi Arabia from its dependence on oil and reinvent it as a global center for technology, tourism, and sustainability. But with the line faltering, the credibility of that vision is under threat. NEOM was supposed to symbolize the kingdom's transformation. Instead, it's becoming a cautionary tale. The government has already scaled back other components of Vision 2030, including the Qiddiya Entertainment City and parts of the Red Sea resort network. As delays mount, Saudi Arabia faces a harsh reality. Diversification requires not only ambition, but stability, governance, and patience, none of which can be rushed through royal decree. The project's downfall is not a failure of technology, but of hubris, the belief that civilization can be compressed into a corridor. that people can be programmed like data, and that economies can defy their own limits. The line will not disappear overnight. Parts of it may rise, and some modules may even function as research or tourism zones. But engineers and planners now acknowledge that the line, in its original form, may never be completed or even inhabited. What was envisioned as the world's first linear megacity could instead become a colossal ruin of unfinished steel and concrete, a cautionary monument to unchecked ambition. The dream of revolutionizing urban life may end as a ghost city buried beneath the Arabian sands.